Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I look like an egg today, but it's fine. I'm a sexy egg, so yeah, it's all good. Today I'm filming in front of a door because, as I think I will have said on a recent video, I don't actually know if I've uploaded it at this point, but just in case I haven't, I'm just going to reiterate it here. I recently moved my bedroom furniture around and I haven't yet figured out a filming spot. I had kind of grand plans in my mind to film in front of my bookcase, but the thing is my bookcase is very small and doesn't actually fit very much on it, so it's not particularly neat. And just looking at it at the minute, like, it just doesn't look how I want it to look, but I've got books on there that I don't want to get rid of, and obviously they need a home. So yeah, I'm trying to figure it out. Eventually, hopefully, I will have the bookcase of my dreams, but right now, yeah, I'm just filming against any surface or any backdrop that I can. Today it's the door, yesterday it was against my desk. Like, we're gonna figure it out. It's gonna keep things interesting though, right? Because we're not gonna get bored. Anyway, I'm coming at you today with a little TBR video, and this is basically the books that I really want to read before I travel. Now, I'm not kind of going to go into great detail about where I'm going, why I'm going, or anything else right now. All you guys need to know is that it is kind of classed as an essential reason for travel. I'm not traveling for tourism purposes. I don't want anyone to think I'm kind of glorifying taking a trip in the middle of a global pandemic. So yeah, I just wanted to put that out there right away. I'm going to be away for quite some time, so I will be taking some books with me. I'm also going to be taking my Kindle with me and downloading some new titles on there, utilising Kindle Unlimited. So I will be doing kind of a Kindle Unlimited / regular ebook haul for you guys once I have decided what I'm going to get, but that won't be for a few weeks yet. However, I do have a stack of books that I want to read before I go, because these are books that, for various reasons, it's like the end of series, things that I just want to wrap up with a neat little bow before I'm away for a while. So yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. I have a stack here, and honestly, considering I go away in under a month and I've only just decided on this TBR, this is quite ambitious because I think there's about 10 or 15 books here, and we have some quite thick boys. So yeah, I think I might struggle, but I love a challenge. So yeah, I'm just gonna get right on into it. So the first book is Tower of Dawn by Sarah J Maas. Now, I don't actually really rate this book all that much, but I'm doing a Throne of Glass reread with one of my greatest friends, and although I think there are a couple of books behind me at this point, obviously I'm not gonna be able to take my Throne of Glass collection out with me because it's so big. So I'm trying to kind of get through the rest of them before I go. I'd like to try and read Kingdom of Ash before I go as well, but obviously that is like 1,000 pages, so that one I might have to wait until I get back. But I think that by the time I get back, they'll probably have read Empire of Storms, and they will also probably have read Tower of Dawn. So I just want to get this out of the way so that I know I'm kind of ahead of the game. But for anyone who doesn't know, this is the second to last installment in the Throne of Glass series, and this is Chaol's book, so the events in this book kind of coincide with what is going on in Empire of Storms, but obviously Chaol isn't featured in Empire of Storms because he is off doing other things on the continent. But yeah, I don't really like Chaol. I've said this before in quite a few of my Sarah J Maas videos. He's my least favourite character that she's ever written. And the first time I read this, I really didn't rate it. The second time, I did enjoy it more. So I'll be interested to see what my experience is like reading it this time. I do think that it's not necessarily essential reading for people who are reading the Throne of Glass series for the first time. However, there are plot points that happen in Kingdom of Ash, certainly, and also things that have kind of been happening earlier on in the series that are explained better in this book, because there are some things that happen and all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, that makes so much sense. So yeah, it's not essential to read this if you really hate Chaol, but I would recommend reading it so that you have like the full enjoyment and perspective of the Throne of Glass series, if that makes sense. So that is one book, one thick book that I need to get through before I go away. The next thick book that I need to get through before I go away is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. This will be my first Mariana Zapata book, and this is a sports romance. I think coincidentally this will be my first sports romance too, but this essentially follows the story of Vanessa, who is the kind of personal assistant, I think, to a star, like national football player. I guess he's like NFL player. And from the sounds of it, he's treated her kind of badly, so she decides to leave, and all of a sudden he turns up on her door begging for her back. And I believe it's supposed to be like a slow burn romance. Mariana Zapata is the queen of slow burn romances, or so I have been told. So I am super excited to read this. Again, it's very thick, so this is going to take me a little while to get through. I might pick this one up next, I haven't decided. But yeah, I really just want to get this read before I go, because it's been staring at me on my unread pile now for probably a couple of weeks, and well, since I bought it, so like at least a month. But yeah, I really want to read it and devour my first Mariana Zapata, especially because I'm also planning on trying to get From Link Off with Love on my Kindle when I go away. So yeah. Next up, I have 2 Penelope Douglas books. So if you have been watching my videos recently, you will know I've been on a bit of a Penelope Douglas like hype this year, and I've been reading the Devil's Night series, so I actually only have 2 left to read. I have Nightfall, which again is huge. This is the problem, all these books are so thick, and this is the 4th and kind of final installment in the series. But there's also a companion novel afterwards, which is Fire Night, which is nice and thin. So this is, I guess, like a little novella following the end of the Devil's Night series. So one of those you don't have to read, but you know, if you want to enjoy the full series, then yeah, read it. So this is Will's book, and I think it follows Will and Emery, and I believe he has been taken to Black Church, which is, I guess, this kind of place that parents send their errant sons when they are misbehaving, and all of the 4 horsemen are trying desperately to get him out of this place. Yeah, I am excited to read it. I will say though, I absolutely hate these covers. So these are the new covers, and it's such a shame because I was putting off ordering this until I'd read Kill Switch, and then I decided, spur of the moment, to order this, Fire Night and Conclave. And as I ordered them, literally like I think a couple of days beforehand, they changed the covers to this new style, and I really hate the new covers. Plus these books are like a little bit taller than the other ones, so it kind of looks stupid, but at least I have half the series in the old version, half the series in the new version, so it's not so bad, I guess. But yeah, I am excited to read this. I'm excited to kind of conclude the Devil's Night series, and I love Penelope Douglas. I'm sure this is going to be brutal and very dark. People have said this is like quite an emotional read as well, so yeah, I'm excited to get stuck into it. I'm very excited. Then we also have a shorter one this time. This is Colson Whitehead's The Nickel Boys. So this is my book club's pick for the month of June. So my friend Holly has picked this one, and I'm really excited because this is actually our first diverse read, and I'm really pleased that we have a diverse read. So far we have read Little Women, that was the first pick, and then I picked The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Then we've had oh my god, I can't think of what it's called. We've had a fantasy that I can't remember the name of off the top of my head. We have had Where the Crawdads Sing. We have had Mayflies, and then this is the next one. And I'm really, really excited to be reading, like I say, a diverse pick. It's my pick for the month of July, and I was going to pick Adichie's Americana, but I'm also tempted to pick Salem's Lot by Stephen King, because we've not had a horror yet. So I'm kind of like 50-50 between the two. But I'm really excited to read this. I've heard some great things about Colson Whitehead. I do actually have The Underground Railroad on my Kindle as well, which I'm planning on trying to read while I'm away. So yeah, very excited to read this. Next up, we have The Crown of Gilded Bones by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So this is the 3rd installment in the From Blood and Ash series, and this is the most recent installment as well. I've heard really mixed things about this book, actually. A lot of people have said that it's kind of a little bit boring in comparison to the first 2, and a few people have just had like kind of not the best reading experiences, so I'm a little bit nervous to pick it up. I hope it's good because I have loved the first 2. I've given them both 5 out of 5 stars, but I just want to get this read before I go away, because I think once I get back, there's probably only going to be a few weeks before the 4th book is released, so obviously I want to make sure that I'm up to date before that comes out. And also I've just been desperate to get back into this world and back with these characters, so I don't think I can wait long enough to get back from my trip before I devour it, so it needs to be read beforehand. In fact, I think this actually might be the next book that I pick up, because I am so desperate to read it. Then we have Chain of Iron by Cassandra Clare, so another super thick book. This is my problem. I don't know how I'm going to get through all of these, guys, but this is the second installment in the Last Hours trilogy slash series, which of course follows the children of the characters from the Infernal Devices trilogy, which is my favourite of Cassandra Clare's series so far. Now, I loved Chain of Gold so much. It was brilliant. This I'm just not so enthusiastic to read. I think a lot of people have said it's just not as good, and I pre-ordered it with so much hope in my heart for another really great read, and I've actually been putting off like reading it since March because I've heard so many kind of like negative things. But I do want to get this read before I go away, and just to see if it lives up to expectations or if it is going to be a disappointing read. Who knows? Then we have another Penelope Douglas. We have Punk 57, which of course everybody has been raving about recently, and I am super excited to read it. I actually want to try and read this before I pick up Nightfall, because the characters in this book have already actually made a cameo in the Devil's Night series. They made a cameo in Conclave, and also I think at the end of Kill Switch. So I mean, I kind of already know that they're obviously going to get together, so it's not really like a spoiler, but I think I would have liked to have read this first, because I think it would have been nice to be like, oh my god, Misha and Ryan. But yeah, anyway, I'm excited to read this. I've heard a lot of amazing things about it. It's obviously been really big on TikTok and BookTube recently, and a lot of people are reading it and loving it. Essentially, for people who don't know what it's about Misha and Ryan, who are a boy and a girl who are paired together for a pen pal project, because they have both have names that kind of work for the opposite sex. So their teachers think they're the same gender, put them together, and it turns out that actually they're not. But they hit it off as pen pals, and then when they actually meet in person, they don't like each other, and I guess it's kind of like an friends to enemies to lovers kind of romance situation. But I'm excited to read it anyway. I think it's going to be really good. It looks like a lot of fun. And then lastly, we have kind of a new purchase for me, but one that I've been wanting to read for ages, and that is The Year of the Witching by Alexis Henderson. I'm just in the mood for proper horror at the moment, and this looks really freaking scary. I'm not actually sure what it's properly about. It just says on the back, 4 witches, 4 warnings, 4 plagues, and the first had come upon them, the year of the witching. So yeah, I'm excited anyway to see what this is about. Hopefully it'll be good, because the last horror book that I read was actually a little bit of a letdown, but we're not going to talk about that. It's fine. It is what it is, you know, these things happen. But anyway, that was a very quick TBR. I hope I can get through all these books. Honestly, like I've said, I think it's probably very ambitious, but I'm gonna give it a damn good go. I'm currently actually halfway through, not even halfway, like a third of the way through a really thick book, and I'm really enjoying it, but it's making me like anxious that I'm not gonna get to all of these in time. But I'm determined to do it. Like, I will do it. Anyway guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have read any of these books, please do let me know your thoughts. Obviously keep them spoiler free, but let me know in the comments below if there's anything that you think that I need to take away with me. Bearing in mind my reading tastes of kind of like dark / to be romance, just fantasy in general. Definitely let me know. I'm so open to recommendations for books to take away with me. And as always, if you are new as well, please do not forget to subscribe. I will see all of you lovely people in another video very soon. Bye guys.